Let's take a look at that ant info before we get into it. SimAnt strategy. Whoa. So the more you gather, the less the red ants get, and the faster your colony. Scroll. Grows. Move the yellow ant to food, recruit help, then release the ants. So move the yellow ant to food, recruit help, then release the ants. So it is advocating for the strategy that we're using of drawing in the ants and then releasing them at the food, as opposed to like grabbing one morsel and walking it back and forth to create a trail. As soon as food appears, move the yellow ant there and recruit more help. To get the most out of your ants, at first produce mostly workers. Produce soldiers once your colony is well established with a good food supply. So first mostly workers and then soldiers. Don't produce breeders until you need them. So I'd been under the impression that the breeders help create more ants, like of all kinds, but perhaps the breeder ants, the winged ants, let's assume the breeders are the winged ants, perhaps they don't serve any purpose besides just accumulating, and then when you reach 10 you fly, or 20 they fly away. So maybe they're just the thing that you build like last once you've conquered the red ants. Don't produce breeders until you need them. Okay. So let's try just not producing breeders at all. See what happens. Next. Take over the yard and house. Number of different nests. To do this, okay, you'll need breeders, winged ants. So breeders are winged ants. Wait until you have about 80 workers and soldiers. Then set the cast control panel to all breeders. Okay, so they don't make breeders at all. They don't suggest making breeders at all until you hit 80, because you need 20 winged ants and you need 100 ants total in order to release breeders. So as soon as there's 20 breeders, they will go on their mating flight After the flight, be sure to reset the cast control. Now I wonder if I just leave one of those tiles, if that already resets the cast control. If I just go to a different part of the yard, doesn't just go back to playing it in auto mode. Because when I come back to it, it's in auto mode. It doesn't leave my settings. In fact, I think it even resets the hive. I think it even basically dissolves that whole scenario and just boils it down to numbers. And just plays it according to some formulas. Like, I don't think it's not even keeping track of where anything is in that section of the yard when you're not there. But I guess if you're going to play the same square over and over again and just continue to produce more and more breeders. It was interesting because when we got to the point where it is going to release breeders to do the mating flight, it didn't look like it reduced the number of breeders that we had in that current scenario. I would have expected that like 10 or 20 of them would just like disappear, but I don't seem to have seen that happen, so I don't know how you would just sit on one tile and continually produce breeders over and over again. Like, as for that being a strategy for taking over more of the yard. I don't know how you would do that, because I don't see when... There must be some sort of cooldown after you release breeders, or maybe you have to go to a different tile and then come back again and do it all over. We'll see. More unknowns about this game. There really isn't any good information about how this works. All the FAQs are people who, who have played the game but haven't like dug into it and don't really have any knowledge of what's actually going on under the hood. So I feel like there's a big dearth of information about the SNES version of this game. The goal is to vanquish the red ants in 8 different situations. These scenarios are won by doing battle. So you want to start producing soldiers fairly soon. Makes sense. Unlike the full game, the scenario game has no need for breeders, so don't waste your energy on them. Okay, good to know. Scenario game doesn't need breeders. After you play SimAnt, go outside and find some real ants. It won't be hard. Ants are everywhere. Okay. Alright, alright. I feel like I've learned a thing or two. Alright. Let's try scenario game. In the park, the long winter has ended and spring is here. Start by collecting the food that has fallen in the sandbox. So, winter is ended. Collect food. That's it. No breeders. Let's set our thingies. Let's set our thingies. Alright, let's do this behavior. Let's leave this on auto for now. I don't really know what we want to do. Let's just set the cast to not have breeders. Hopefully it's already set to that. And we don't have to do this every time. No, yeah, breeder's 0. Let's leave it and let's see if auto leaves it there. Alright, so where's our food? Oh yeah, this music slaps. I like scenario mode already. Alright, can we bring anyone else here? No, I don't think we have anyone else in our army yet. Can we just drop it off? Maybe it doesn't matter where we put it. Oops. Maybe it doesn't matter where we put it. It's not telling me that I need to dig more, so that's good. So I start with one worker and one breeder and the yellow ant. I wish you could tell your ant to move in that map view. You know how I like to play in map views. Look at those giant bubbles. I love it. Yeah, I agree. I think I have to complete the game. You can't stop the timer until you go out and find a real ant. Find an ant. Years from now, my stream, I won't even be playing games anymore. I'll just be collecting insects with a timer. I will have just dropped the whole video game aspect of this. Alright, am I doing any good here? Let's also check to make sure the speed is what it's supposed to be. I think that's the fastest. I keep hoping there's some... Oh man, I forgot which hole it came in. Some are much closer than others here. There's no real cohesion to it. It's kind of random. Any of those top ones could be one of these holes at random. There doesn't seem to be any spatial cohesion to it. So let's see. What's this one? It's this one. Third from the left. Oh, you can't set things up there, huh? Why is everything 0? Oh, it's making breeders. Okay, so we can't leave it in auto. We need to Nope. I want 0, please. There we go. Sure. Let's just go full workers. Thanks. There we go. Good enough. It's hard to hit that exact pixel you need. And then let's also check the behavior and see if that's gone back to... So it's on auto, and it's in a reasonable place. It was 0, or it was all 0s before, which is kind of weird. I'm going to just manually set this here. There. That's exactly what I want. Alright, we got a few ants. Some people hatched. Oh man, we got to do a little digging. We don't have a lot of space here. So these guys are already going after that stuff. Where can we go for food? Don't really have a lot of action over here. That's definitely what I wanted to press. There we go. Get that food. Okay. Get the food. Get the food. Grab that food. That's probably all I need to do to get them. Can't do it there. There we go. To get them making the pheromone trail. And they should come and forage the rest for themselves. Alright, we're in good shape here. Oh, we got a lot of ants. If I don't recruit them all over here, what are they actually doing with their time? Just kind of milling about over there. It's kind of wandering. A lot of them are just here around the entrances. They're just doing random walks. I feel like it is probably better for me to continue to gather them all here. Because yes, once I've led them to there would be a pheromone trail, and they would eventually... It is raining right now, though. It is raining right now. It's not a good test. Guess I'm just trying to decide if I want to keep trying to call them over, or maybe just do one for each food, do one big call over, and then rely on them to come back here. But I feel like if I'm not constantly calling them, they don't all... you know, engage themselves well. Like, some of them just do nothing. They don't all, like, actually engage themselves in getting food or whatever thing I've set them to. It'd be nice not to have to keep micromanaging all the food grabbing, but I don't know. So how much food... Oh, Nexus is too crowded. I wonder how much food we actually need to collect to win this scenario. It does work off the scent trails that other ones have made, but I don't know if they're always going after the scent trails, or if they do, like, they spend half their time doing that and half their time, you know, randomly exploring. I know I have set it all to... I have set it to what is it? Nurture. I have set part of their behavior to doing other things besides forage. I mean, one would think that in the overworld they would only forage. It's not like there's anything to feed. We gotta dig this nest out. It's not big enough. Bigger place. I also don't know much about... I haven't gotten much insight into how to structure nests. Is it just the number of squares that you've dug out? Oh, I'm fixed. I'm fixed, thank you. Ah, so we got some red ants coming in. Now, does this scenario end when we get enough food? Or do we need to actually kill the red ants to win? Let's get on a footing to kill these red ants. So we're mostly workers. Let's try mostly soldiers now. We can try all soldiers, why not? Killing the red queen is the win condition. Good to know. In that case, we've already overpowered them. We've already surpassed them. Now I think we can overpower them. We don't have a soldier population yet, though. Normally, on the other mode I was playing on, mostly soldiers. But here we do not have that yet. There we go. Oh, gotta keep my guy safe. Where's the enemy hole? There it is. Down to 30. Where are they all? Here they are. There's the guards. This is a little bit like Warcraft in that the nests tend to have guards. They have city guards somewhere. Yeah, they're not positioned right on the... Here they come. They're not... Oh my gosh. It's quite a bunch of them. They're not positioned right on top of the holes, but they're somewhere nearby. And once you get their attention, they all come rushing in. I think we're doing real well here. I keep recruiting because over time new ants are made, and I'm not sure if once you've said recruit all, if future ants that get created will be drawn to you, or if you need to recruit them anew. Oh man, the fights. I wasn't on it mashing the A button. We still don't know if mashing A or B makes any difference. I'll try mashing both next time, if I think of it. But this time we'll be a soldier. Yes, I would say I believe that I have seen soldiers doing much better in battle than workers. I haven't really given this a good test, but my experience is that I tend to do a lot better than the enemy if I have an all-soldier army. Oh, I don't think you can mash B for this, I think, because that's going to bring your menu up. I think you have to mash A. Or maybe that does nothing at all. It is about to rain. Look at all these minions. Alright, they're down to 2. We completely We completely wiped those ants out. Let's go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh my god. That was just... That's it. Squash. Again, success requires. That's it. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I read... This is great. I read the the 3 guides on FAQ. Yeah, they're all 20 years old, and nobody has dissected the game. Alright, so this is good. Let's try... Now that we know what the objective is, we'll do a little speed run of this. Not really. Not really. We'll just try to play this game well, which we should have been doing all along. So let's try. What's going on with these numbers? There we go. They're showing actual number of ants as opposed to percentages. Why was it a percentage for a moment there? This is... I don't get this thing. Is there another button that changes it to percentage? Like for a brief moment it was showing percentage. Like what am I missing there? Here it's not showing percentage either. Anyway, so we're going to do all workers to start with. Yeah, if anybody likes poking at RAM in games like this, there's probably a lot that you could discover just with a little bit of memory watching if you're looking for something to do. But yeah, I think that at this point in time, the SNES version is wide open for someone to like reverse engineer the mechanics of this. Because yeah, there's really zero information. No actual technical information, and you can find a lot of stuff just by watching memory and setting traps. Like, let's bring everybody over here. Oh, we're not gonna fight a caterpillar. You know, and setting, comparing like memory change when between 2 states. You can find a lot of things really easily. All right. I think you can't drop food at the very top layer. I don't think it lets you do that. Thanks. I wonder if it drains the other ant when you have an interaction like that. I presume each of these ants has its own like energy gauge, and it will die if it doesn't, if it doesn't eat every now and then. Ants do spontaneously die. The black ones do seem to spontaneously die. So I presume that means they've run out of energy. I'll have to see what this scenario mode is like. Like, if I could find a way to... Oh, no. If I could find a way to beat that, like, full game mode, it might be worth trying to do a run of it just to prove that it can be done, because so far there just don't seem to be any runs of it. Might be, if there is a strategy for beating it, for taking over the whole yard. I mean, it must be. They wouldn't make this game unbeatable. It might be fun to figure that out. I know someone has done a speed run of this mode, which I have not watched. So this is speedrunnable, apparently. So it might be interesting to make my best guess what the route would be for this, and then go watch that run to see how it compares. I think so as well. I also noticed that during combat, like, the ant's yellow health bar will go down in big chunks. And I think basically the result of combat isn't that you die, it's that you take X amount of damage. So if you're at full health, you might be able to survive it, but if you're at low health, it won't. But I think the amount of damage you take as a result of an iteration of combat is variable. I don't think you just lose a certain amount. I think it depends. And it is random, because I've had my soldiers die to breeders or worker ants. All right, now we can actually start doing some food finding. So let's see. I already have this here. All right, let's bring everybody over here and see if we can quick clear this stuff. I don't know if it's valuable to continue to dig in the nest if it isn't telling you to dig in the nest. You might only need to dig more nest if you, like, when it tells you. I might be able to just ignore the digging task. So they will eventually move them out of the way and they'll just dig more. I didn't have any success with trying to cover the enemy's ant holes. But you know what? I haven't really given that a good test. If you were to try an all-out assault of just trying to cover all the ant holes, it might be that it just takes them a lot of time to get out, and then during that time they're kind of stunted because they're not gathering food. They're just kind of like failing to get out of the hive or trying to move stones or whatever. Maybe, I guess it'd be a question of whether my time is better spent doing a lot of stone moving. If there's only one or two openings, it would be pretty easy to do, but in the big yards, like once they get up to 100 ants or whatever, like in the big games, if you're trying to take over a saturated piece of yard from the enemy, there's usually too many for you to, get any benefit from that strategy. Yeah, this is a lot more fun without the guy on the lawnmower walking around. There's food over there. Could go for that. I think we're about ready to attack the enemy. What? That was strange. This is not the first time that a phantom press of the B button has happened. A phantom B button press. Let's try this. Colony needs more food. I guess we can't go after the enemy yet. Maybe we can. Maybe we should. How about we don't bother with that? Let's just go in and see if we can take them. I guess if you lose ants, I wonder if you need less food, or if the food or lack of food only really applies to the new ants that you're trying to create. Oh my gosh, let's get. Oh my god, I'm gonna get red anted. Somebody engage that ant, please. Soldier ants got it in for me. It's running away. There we go. Somebody finally tackled him. All right, there we go. Oh, no. Oh, no. We're not going to make this. Yeah, I think it's best to wipe out these overworld ones before we go underground. There we go. Let's have one last soldier. Let's just give a check here. You don't need the breeders at all in the in this scenario game, it said in the instructions. That's what got me. Okay, great. And in the yard game, oops, it said that you don't need breeders until you're ready, until you're ready to expand to other areas. But I think the advantage of being a worker as opposed to a soldier is that the workers use less energy. So when you're the worker ant, the yellow ant is a worker ant, I think you can walk farther before he runs out of energy. So I presume that's true for all the black worker ants as well. So they're just more efficient creatures than the soldiers, but I think otherwise the same. It is possible that only worker ants can do the nurture action, or whatever that third action is in the behaviors. But I am not sure. I'm not sure if they can do that or not. They may just be completely identical to the workers, except they have better combat, but cost more energy to use. There may not be any other thing. Yeah, but the breeders won't be drawn to. I guess they can fight, they can do combat, but they won't be drawn to your side when you call for help. And they will someone just thank you. And they can't carry food. The breeders, so I don't really know if they do anything at all besides just fight when the enemy attacks them. Okay. If you are a breeder. Interesting, I haven't tried being a breeder, so if I go into battle, or if I make myself a breeder and then I call in the other ants, you get the bonus of calling in breeders. Okay. All right. Anyway, afraid I only have time for just the one scenario right now, but I'll probably come back later tonight or tomorrow morning and do the next one. I feel like we're learning something. We're getting somewhere. Goodbye. See you all again soon.